So we got impatient and we just backed up 1/2 meter, and the reason why this cub hasn't popped up to Mum is because she's about 8 meters up into her own tree. She doesn't want to be in Mum's tree. She's climbed very, very, very high up in here, and it's giving us quite a good show. So there we go, everybody. 3-month-old leopard, very high up in a tree. She capably climbed up, and now she's trying to figure out how to get down. She's working those muscles and those claws. I would go and stand under there so you could see, but that would result in probably being eaten by Thandi. So we'll just have to give you the view that we have there. Absolutely fantastic. So she's decided she doesn't want Mum and she doesn't want the meat. She wants her own special tree to herself. One of us, you're curious to know if a predator could get the cub if it was in a tree. Yes, if the predator was a lion or a leopard. Look, cheetah could possibly get up there. A hyena definitely can't, and a wild dog can't. But other leopards, of course, and lions, yes, of course, as well. But that little cub would go straight up to the tippy-top branches, which would be harder for a heavier predator to get into. There's your uber cuteness for the day, everybody. I'm really excited that she's decided to climb around for us like this. I think she's trying to figure out now if she's if she's gonna, sorry, I'm jiggling the camera, if she's gonna lie up there or sort of how to get down. When she was getting up, she was not as elegant as her mother getting up a tree, and that's again because she's still learning. So now I think because she's up there, she's now contemplating the descent. It's easier sometimes to get up than get down. And Mum has turned her head away in the complete opposite direction and is having a mum nap. She's decided that she's not going to deal with her child for the moment. John, you're curious to know if we know who the cub's father is. John, as far as we know, it's Tingana. I was with VM the other night. Thandi had made it down to Chitwa and then across and then come back up, and VM was making funny jokes about her looking for Tingana to try and collect child support. All right, well, we keep an eye on this little one, waiting to see if she's going to get down or if she's going to start calling Mum. Let's head on over to Herbie, who has a teeny tiny little predator he would like to show you. I'm sorry about those little bit of technical difficulty with Herbie. Our little cub is grooming herself in the tree. I think she's just copycatting Mum at this point, but she's just being a little bit obstinate. But it's good. It's good for her to be obstinate at this age because this is how she learns and this is how she grows and this is how she forms all of the muscles she needs to be a good adult in the next year and sort of 9 months. And it's also, we were chatting, I think it was over Christmas time, we were chatting, Ferg and I were driving around and we were doing some chit-chatting with all of you, and we were filming as we were driving through the Milwaukee and showing up in the trees, and I was saying how it's always important when we're looking for Thandi with the cub like this to just triple check the trees, because most of the time you will find them inside of burrows, but as you know, and now as you can all see, she camouflages up there really well. And because she's a little bit darker, because she's a little bit smaller, it's a nice little place for her to hide herself. I also don't think she's going to move anytime soon, to be honest. I think she's very happy and comfortable where she is. I would like for her to move a little bit so you can see how she gets down. I've also seen with cubs this small when they're trying to get down, because they are not as adept as the adults, it is slightly comical, and also the way that their balance starts to work. They're still figuring out how to find their centers of gravity. And so sometimes they'll slip a little bit, then they hang by a claw, and then they sort of figure their footing out, and then it'll happen again. They hang by the other claw, and they half climb, half stumble, half fall. But every now and then their descent is spot on. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. First lady, you're noticing how her back legs are dangling there, just like we were showing with Mum earlier, and they're teeny tiny, and it is very cute with her little tail curled and twitching around. Mum's doing the exact same posture in her own tree. Here we go. With a teeny bit of the sunset in the background there. We're not going to get a very good sunset, I don't think, tonight. I think there's too many clouds. But we have half of our shot with a leopard in a tree at sunset. Now, all we needed for the perfect shot is less leaves, more sunset, and for Thandi to maybe stand and do a yoga stretch. And then that would be the photography shot of my year. Margaret, good question. You would like to know, how far can leopards jump without harming themselves? So, Margaret, where Thandi is, she's not as high as that cub. What do you think, Seb? About 10 meters? Maybe 20?
No, what, Thandi?
Yeah.
8 meters?
8 meters.
Yeah.
Sorry, my depth perception of her up into the sky is very bad. So double where Thandi is, so let's say 16 meters. And a friend of mine watched a leopard jump out of a branch from there and onto Impala and kill the Impala and didn't harm herself. So yeah, pretty high. But I couldn't give you a definitive number because every leopard's different, just like every human's different. And having a look-see at us. Wondering who we are and what we're up to. Nathan, you'd like to know if Thandi will have another cub while she still has this little cub. Nathan, Thandi will only start going into estrus, into mating, again, when this cub is older, closer to 2 years. Then her body will say, okay, it's time for a new cub. Although I believe Tristan was chatting the other day about this possibly maybe because of the age of Thandi being the last cub, but you never know. Could be, you might get another litter or two out of her. We'll have to wait and see. It would be very difficult for her to take care of this little cub and be pregnant and then take care of another little cub. Predators would have a very hard time functioning like that. So lion, leopard, and cheetah, they have their litter. They wait for their litter to become older teenagers / adults, and then they'll have another litter. So cute. There's your screenshots for the day, everybody. She's having a look to see. I don't think she can see where the cub is from here. I think that she saw which tree the cub was in. That's beautiful, everybody. Look at those colors in the background. Still not quite the shot we want, but I'll take it for tonight. And you can see her fat belly. She's eaten a lot. A steenbok and most of a baby waterbuck. Thus leads to fat pants. Not fitting. There was a diker that ran past earlier that Thandi was also watching. And you could see her. She's like, oh, food. Oh, I can't move. Too full. And there we go, precariously moving on her perch, as leopards do, very deftly. Chelsea, you're curious to know if this is Thandi's first litter. Chelsea, no, it's not. Thandi is 11, almost 12 years old. I think we decided earlier from Tristan's estimates. So this is her 5th or 6th litter as far as I understand it. She's got Tumba and Kachava and 2 others. One that moved into the Kruger and one that was killed by Tingana as an adult. And then this one, so this would have been the 5th litter, 4th or 5th litter. So yeah, 5 or 6 litters possibly. I don't think all of her litters have made it. But again, Tristan would be your man on the ground to triple check with that. And then we're going to come back to the little cubbo. Not as nice of a background, a little bit blown out. But again, blending in, camouflaging very well. Actually, Ellen, you're correcting me in saying it wasn't Thandi's cub that was killed. Tingana didn't kill it. It was the Styx Pride. I'm just trying to remember. I had another viewer that sent me through a couple of things about those leopards. I'm believing you, but then there was a female that was killed by Tingana, and for some reason I felt like it was one of Thandi's youngsters, but obviously I have misremembered that. Sorry about that. I think let's head back to the sunset with Thandi, because it's very beautiful. I'm loving those oranges and pinks and peaches and a little bit of yellows in the back there. All right, everybody, we don't have a lot of time left, so we're going to have these wonderful views whilst we wrap everything up. And I want everyone to not forget, of course, about our live TV shows that are happening from the 4th of February. They're going to be live in the United States, and it's going to start at 10 p.m. Eastern Time after that big game. And then it's going to go on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th. The 8th will be our last night, so 5 nights of Safari Live in the United States at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And during that time, we'll be playing Safari Bingo, so go to natgeo.com/Safari Live for the rules on Safari Bingo. 2 of you could win a trip to Africa. How exciting! So thank you so much from all of us, Thandi and Cub, everyone in the Mara. Have a really great evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 our time.